everyone, and welcome to a session that is all about keeping your hips open and happy. We're going to move through 3 different hip opening postures. And hip openers are wonderful for us for so many reasons. The highlight reel includes it helps with low back pain when the hips are nice and soft and open, as well as mobility and balance. So let's start with lizard pose. And as far as props go, it will be helpful to have a yoga strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, you could grab a belt. That would work as well. And it will also be helpful to have either a bolster, some pillows or blankets, something soft you can put your arms on. And if you prefer yoga blocks, that will work as well. So once you have gathered your props, let's meet on hands and knees in tabletop on the mat. And tabletop, again, is when you have shoulders over wrist and hips over knees. And we'll begin with just a few rounds of cat and cow to awaken the spine. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your head. Exhale, hug it all in, puff your back towards the sky. Again, inhale, drop your belly, lift your head. Exhale, hug it all in. One more time, inhale, drop and open. Exhale, hug in. Inhale, come to a neutral spine, and let's wake your hips up here a bit. So bring your knees together so you feel very stable. From there, play with pushing into your hands while you straighten your right leg back behind you. If you feel stable, go ahead, bend your knee and open up your hip, which just means you're pointing your knee up towards the sky. And then as if your knee is the tip of a pencil, draw some circles in space, gently warming up the hip. Go the other way too. Good. Bring the right knee back down to meet the left and give your tail a little wag of relief from side to side. Let's try the same thing on the other side. First, press into your hands, arms straight. Left leg goes straight back behind you, and if that feels okay, bend your knee. Open up your hips so knee points to sky, and draw circles in the sky. Let the knee be the tip of the pencil. And switch directions. And we'll meet again with both knees on the earth, giving the tail a little wag. We'll get off your wrist in a moment, I promise. Now, take your right foot and step it up between your hands. And to do that, you might lean to the left and use your right hand to help you shimmy your foot forward. Once the foot is forward, place your hands on the inside of your foot. And do you see how my bottom is still stacked over my back knee? I don't want it to be. So I'm going to lean weight into my hands to scoot my knee back behind me. I'm going to continue to scoot it back until I'm on the top of the kneecap. And that means I can bend my knee here without it being difficult to do so, or hopefully painful. This is a great place to go ahead and grab a blanket and put it underneath your back knee for a little extra padding and support. Now, whatever bolster, blankets, soft tools you have, you'll want to bring them underneath your hands. And that will help give a little relief to your wrist creases. From here, I want you to see the difference between my hips being back and my hips being forward. Ideally, you are sinking your hips forward as much as your body will allow you to, so there's a big stretch in the top of your back left leg. If you have the space to come off your wrist, you might bring your elbows down to your bolster, your blankets, whatever you have, and stay there. Now, we're doing a lot of things at once, but we might ever so slightly let the right big toe point towards the right corner of the mat, so instead of straight forward, out to the side, and then roll just a little bit, less is more, to the pinky side of the foot. And when I do that, it invites this hip to drop open. That's a lot of things at once, so it's more than okay if you're simply up here, breathing into the stretch in the back leg. If you already have a lot of space to work with, then we come down towards the elbows and let the front knee fall out. Wherever you are, let's hold and take some long, steady, deep breaths. Two more the same way. And my friends who are on the elbows, let's press back up onto the hands. From the hands, get grounded on the earth and gently push your hips backwards so that your right knee can return to your left knee. Bring your elbows down to the ground. Drop your head and let your tail wag a little bit from side to side. Ooh, sigh out any air that feels extra to you. That can be a really intense opener. And of course, we're going to do the same thing on the other side as well. So back up to hands and knees. Let's reset with some cat and cow. Tabletop. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your heart. Exhale, hug it in. Two more. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Now just let your spine move in any way it wants to, so you're back at neutral. And we'll move to the second side. Left foot steps forward between your hands. And of course, you can lean your weight to your right, step onto your foot and use your hand to help you get your foot forward. When your foot is forward, your hands go inside of your foot. From here, we want to get off the kneecap and instead to the top of the knee. So I'm scooting the right leg back until I'm on the top of the kneecap, and I might put a blanket under the knee as well. From here, we'll feel the difference between hips back and hips coming forward. We want the hips coming forward as much as possible, so there's a big stretch in the top of the right leg. We might take a bolster, blanket, block, anything, underneath the hands for a little extra support. And if there is the space, you can also consider coming down onto your elbows to hold as well. For even more, and of course you're doing enough, we'll point the left big toe towards the top left corner of the mat. Roll just a little bit to the pinky edge side of the foot and let the knee drop away from the body while we stay and hold and breathe with soft jaws. A few more breaths here. And those on the elbows, let's come back up onto the palms. From the palms, we'll send the bottom back, push the hips back, and return the left knee to meet the right. Whew. Wag your tail a bit from side to side and drop down to your elbows while you do so. From here, sit your bottom all the way down on your heels or a pillow and roll out through your wrists to give them a little bit of a break. And for our next shape, we're going to be on the back. So come to sit about in the middle of your yoga mat. And once you're in the middle of the mat, find your yoga strap and place it also right off the side in the middle so it'll be really easy to grab in a moment. If it is comfortable for you to come all the way down to lie on your back, do that. If you prefer not to be all the way down on the floor, we can take a pillow or a bolster and connect it to the sacrum so it touches the low part of the back and lean back into the support of the bolster. This can actually make the shape a little bit more challenging instead of easy, but it's totally personal preference, whether you want to be on the ground or on the bolster. I want to be on the ground. So once you are all the way down on the floor, find your strap in your hand and lift your legs, both of them, up towards the sky. Roll out your ankles a few times in both directions. And point and flex your feet to gently open the backs of the legs. Good. Now keep both feet really flexed, and your flexed feet will help protect the integrity of your knees. From here, we're going to take the right knee, bend it, and let the right ankle come on top of the left knee. And if you keep your left leg straight, you can see how you've made the number 4 with your legs. Now, we're going to break that number 4 by bending the left knee. And you want to keep your feet flexed through all of this. Now, find your yoga strap. And we're going to take it behind the left leg, through the hole, so that each hand is holding a side of the strap. And the strap is here so that you don't feel like you have to lift your head or lift your shoulders. You want to stay heavy in your low back. And each time you breathe out, use the strap to hug your leg a little bit more closely to your body. And we'll stay here, using each breath out to hug the leg in a little more closely. Let's stay for 3 more breaths on this side. And we'll first let the strap go. Bring it down to your sides. Second, bring the left foot down to the ground. Third, right foot down to the ground. And we can press down into the elbows to push up onto the forearms and give the knees a little windshield wipe from side to side. And this motion alone can be a great way to soften and open up into your hips. You might feel the stretch go all the way down the top of your leg, especially if your feet are wide on the yoga mat instead of close together. As I'm sure you've guessed, we're going to do the other side as well. So with your knees back up at center, Release the back down to the earth and the legs back up to the sky. Let yourself wiggle through the ankles in any way that feels good. And do have the strap in your hand and handy. Flex both feet. This time we'll bend the left knee, so left ankle comes on top of right knee. See the number 4. Break the number 4 by bending the right knee. Weave the strap behind the right leg through the hole, so one hand has each side of the strap. Shoulders heavy, head heavy, jaw soft. Each breath out invites you to hug the leg in a little bit more closely. Let's stay for 3 more breaths on this side as well. And to release, we'll let the strap go. Bring the right foot down, the left foot down, the forearms come to the earth so you can prop yourself up just enough to windshield wipe the legs from side to side. And again, if your feet are nice and wide, you get a bigger stretch here. And we will meet coming all the way up to sit in any way it's making sense to you to get there. About in the middle of your mat, perhaps, with the soles of the feet together and the knees nice and wide like butterfly wings. Now, it's really normal if it's hard to get into this shape. Your knees might be way up off the earth. That's normal. If it feels like you're accidentally stuck on the back of your bottom and you can't get forward, please take a bolster, a blanket, a sweatshirt, something, and you want to sit on it. You don't want to sit on the whole thing, you want just the back of your bottom to sit on the edge. And when you sit on just the edge, what it does is it helps prop you up and lean the body forward. If there's lots of distance between your knees and the floor and it is uncomfortable, you can put a block, a sweatshirt, a pillow, anything between that space to help it feel more sustainable to stay here. Now, once you've found the version of the shape that works for you, take your hands to your feet, thumbs to arches. From there, roll the shoulders down and lift the chest up. Close your eyes if that feels safe, and breathe in like the top of your head is being pulled towards the ceiling. Exhale, really simply start to lean forward from your hips, and already start to notice the shape in your spine. We want length as opposed to that kitty cat shape coming into the back. So breathe in to find your nice long spine. Exhale, imagine the collarbones dragging you forward and down towards the earth. And it might be an inch and it might be all the way, both are good. But each exhale invites you to lengthen the body forward and down. we'll stay for 5 more breaths just like this. Slowly press yourself back up to sit, tall and sit well. And you might use your hands to help you close the knees back together again. And the same way we've been practicing, hands will come behind your back. You'll lean back and windshield wipe the knees from side to side. Again, if you have a bit more distance between your feet, you get a little bit more of a stretch here than if they're really close together. Both are okay though. And we will meet back in an easy cross-legged seat, perhaps still sitting up on a bolster or a blanket or whatever tool is helpful. Hands on the knees. Press down into your knees to find the length of your spine. Close your eyes, feel 3 breaths move through, and simply notice how you feel. When it feels safe to do so, flutter your eyes open, come back into the space, and give yourself a big thank you for creating a bit of time to take good care of your hips. And I hope that you will come back and keep doing these practices again and again and again.